Philadelphia is under curfew and unrest following the police killing of Walter Wallace Jr. And with the election days away, the Biden-Harris campaign issued a statement in regards to the shooting. Here's what it says. Our hearts are broken for the family of Walter Wallace Jr. and for all those suffering with the emotional weight of learning about another black life in America lost. Just a little snippet of it. Joining us now is former Pennsylvania police officer Nick Gerace, who is also president and founder of Protect Our Police PAC, and our panel, former Georgia Congressman Jack Kingston and federal attorney Vikas Bajaj. Good to see all of you here. Nick, I'll start with you here, former police officer. I know you have thoughts on this, but I'd love to get your thoughts on the statement that we just read there. Is that appropriate?
I do not believe that statement is appropriate whatsoever. I mean, this is not a George Floyd situation where you need to bring the nation together to heal everybody from what happened. It is an absolute tragedy that a man lost his life, his family seen him lost his life, and a police officer had to take a life. Anytime that happens is an absolute tragedy. The statement that Biden put out is reckless and careless. It's just as reckless as him saying that police officers should be shooting people in the leg, because it pertains to this situation right here. It's not true. It's not right. And he shouldn't be putting out information like that. And his statement could have been written a lot better.
You know, Nick, this is a tough situation because on the surface, folks look at this and they see race again. They jump to conclusions again. Then they see a knife and not a gun. And they say, oh, well, you know, it's not as deadly. But tell me about that. If a police officer sees someone coming at them with a knife, wanting to do harm, how much danger is that officer in?
Their life is being threatened immediately. Not only their lives, but the people around in that area, their life is threatened. If that police officer didn't take the action that he did, he could have been fatally stabbed, seriously injured, or the people around him could be fatally stabbed or injured. Cops are not out there to risk serious bodily injury or death, so you have a right to resist arrest or assault police officers. That's not the way this works. Police have the right to go home safe every night. They gave that man a lawful order to stop moving forward, to put down the knife. They even retreated, which they did not have to do lawfully. They retreated. They gave that man every chance that he could to put that knife down, and he didn't, and they had to take the action that they did. Now, if the defund the police movement wasn't alive and happening in Philadelphia, budget cuts restricted these officers from having tasers on them right now. So you ask yourself, why didn't they use non-lethal weapons or non-lethal force? That's because the defund the police movement has happened here in Philadelphia, and this is a direct result of what happens when you do not have proper funding for the police department.
Nick, playing connect the dots there for our viewers. Nick, thank you for that. I know that you and other retired officers have formed a PAC to elect pro-police candidates. How did this idea come together real quick, and what exactly is it?
Real quick, I mean, you look across the country right now where you have George Soros-backed district attorneys. Every city is on fire. They're burning, they're looting, they're rioting. It's happening here in Philadelphia. Police officers are losing their lives. Citizens are losing their lives. We need to get pro-police elected officials who are for law and order into the state and local elections and positions to help change the tide back to law and order.
Vikas, I want to bring you into this and just your thoughts on what's happening here in Philly. There are calls for this body cam footage. It will be released. 911 tapes will be released. But nevertheless, they're already burning this city up, looting, hurting police officers, etc.
Well, you're using very good terms there. Will be released and will be released. It just strikes me as absolutely atrocious and very dangerous that these monumental decisions on taking the streets and vandalizing property and causing violence to others. You know, we have looters shooting looters. According to the police department there, people are carjacking cars that are filled with stolen goods. But the investigation has not even made its way through the halfway point. It hasn't concluded. It's not even close to being concluded. It's very, very dangerous, to Nick's point, to have the public believe that it's okay to reach their own conclusion and exercise this type of gratuitous violence. What we have here is really another example of the normalization of violence, taking to the streets without a proper investigation and a proper conclusion. You know, as litigators, we look at all the facts of the case, we look at the consequences, we even look at policies and what may have created these unfortunate incidents. But we don't even have enough evidence right now to reach a base full conclusion as to why this happened.
Let me jump in really quick. I don't mean to interrupt. I got a little bit of time left. 30 seconds for Jack Kingston. Your thoughts on this? The governor calls it a peaceful protest.
I am shocked at the governor. I am shocked at Joe Biden. This is one more time when they're winking at the rioters, saying this kind of behavior is okay. As Nick said, the police officers have the right to go home. They also right to go home safely and unhurt after they perform their job and follow the law. One last thing, Nick, you are absolutely right about George Soros backing DAs who won't enforce the law. That is a huge scandal in America. We don't talk about it enough, but I'm glad you guys are doing something, and I'm with you.
Jack Kingston, thank you very much. Jack Vick, stick around. Nick Gerace, I'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Got it.